oh, what a very nice laptop, what an ordinary looking laptop I have. Well, what if and it's just one of the new laptops that ASUS is launching here at CES 2026. But I'm also making a whole separate video for their ROG gaming laptop lineup. But we have to start with this guy. They've refined the Zenbook DUO. This is the new 2026 version. There is a lot new here. 5% smaller overall, the overall footprint, and they've reduced the gap between the screen by 70%. We get a whole new hinge design. They're using ASUS's Ceraluminum material for the lid, the bottom case, and the kickstand. Putting the old one and the new one side by side, it is a pretty substantial improvement. The hinge, the thickness of the bezels, it's all just a lot more seamless. And if you're wondering, does this weaken it? Well, here at ASUS's booth at CES, where they're unveiling these new laptops, they had a new Zenbook DUO upside down, and they also had a 20-pound weight, which I then placed literally on the hinge, causing some flexing but no damage. It's a tough cookie. But it's these screens that are the real standout. They're both ASUS Lumina Pro OLED displays, so we're talking 14-inch 3K resolution, 144Hz OLEDs, 16:10 aspect ratio, we're talking 1000 nits of peak brightness. They're touchscreen, of course, and support the ASUS Pen 3.0 stylus, but also look how well it's handling my really bright studio light and reducing those reflections. Like, what a difference that makes. So being a lot less reflective, particularly when you've got two screens at different angles, is a big upgrade. The other big upgrade is on the inside. We get the latest Intel Core Ultra Series 3 processors, up to the Ultra X9 with a 45-watt TDP. And just to round it out, this also packs in the biggest battery you can squeeze into a laptop and still take it on a plane, 99 watt-hour battery. So in this dual screen mode, you can use it in a more traditional vertical layout, or even rotate it on its side for a more split screen desktop type view. You can lay the screens flat in a sharing mode, and with this built-in kickstand, you can just prop it up like so, then you can use the keyboard remotely. This is their ErgoSense keyboard. It's fully backlit, it's every bit as good as any other ASUS laptop. They've even doubled the battery life of the keyboard. We're talking over 50 hours. And because it supports Bluetooth, you can use it away from the laptop remotely, like you can have it set up over there and you can use your keyboard closer to you. But also we have the Pogo connector down here, and together with little magnets down below, it just pops right on, and then you can use it like a traditional laptop. But for all those people who want a actually decently powerful portable laptop, but then with like a second screen option sometimes, this is it. But make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I am absolutely going to do a full review on this. This may be one of the most exciting laptops coming in 2026. Let's talk about this guy, the new Zenbook A series. We've got the A14s in the two colorways, and its bigger brother, the A16. But let's start with the smaller guys. And what exactly makes these special? Well, a few things. Firstly, they're the lightest Zenbooks ASUS have ever made, under a kilogram for the 14-inch version, and it really does feel like they've just forgotten to put the battery in there or something. It's remarkable. And of course, they're using the Ceraluminum material, which is 30% lighter and 3 times stronger than regular anodized aluminium. This Ceraluminum is genuinely one of the most impressive advancements in material use that I've seen on laptops in a long time. But they've also reduced the weight of some of the internal components, like the fans. I never realized how heavy a fan could be until I put it against one from the A14. So incredibly lightweight, but these are also Snapdragon-powered laptops, and we've got the brand new 2026 Snapdragon X2 Elite chips in here. And they're promising not only significant jumps in performance, but also even longer battery life, over 28 hours. So the A series is focused more on portability, long battery life, a little bit more affordability as well. The screen is very nice. It's a good size 14-inch Full HD Plus OLED, and it's a 16:10 aspect ratio, which I always like. However, 60 Hz in 2026 does feel a little bit slow and a little bit of a compromise. But I still can't get over how light these are, and it comes in 2 colorways. We've got the Iceland Grey and the Zabriskie Beige. And just to give you a little taste of how much faster this new Snapdragon X2 Elite chip is versus the original from about 18 months ago, it's a lot faster. But it's the graphics where in some cases we're seeing over double the performance. These new Snapdragon chips are a massive upgrade. However, if you would like something a little bit bigger, slightly bigger screen, then why not consider the new ASUS Zenbook A16. And I'm pleased to say the A16 does have a 120Hz refresh rate. It's just the 14 that's stuck at 60. Despite the much bigger screen, it's only about 200 grams heavier than its smaller 14-inch brother. It's about 1.2 kilograms, which means this 16-inch laptop is in fact lighter than a 13-inch MacBook Air. That makes you think, doesn't it? This can be spec'd with the new top-of-the-line Snapdragon X2 Elite Extreme chip, which is up to a 65-watt TDP, and we're promised double the processor performance, double the integrated graphics performance, along with an 80 TOPS NPU. It's also the first to market with LPDDR6 memory, and this is actually the first A16, the first time we've had a 16-inch version of an A-series laptop. And with that crazy lightweightness, the flagship Snapdragon X2 Elite Extreme chip, which is a bit of a mouthful, and once again with this very nice cerulean, the A14 and the A16 is definitely worth having a look at. Oh, and for the first time we have a cerulean mouse, which goes very nicely with the Zabriskie beige aesthetic of the new laptops. But then we have this. This is actually kind of special. Have a look at the front there. It's the ASUS ProArt GoPro edition for explorers and creators. Well, have a look inside. This is probably the most custom looking ProArt that we've seen. Everything from the packaging to this very beefy travel case, even to the design of the laptop with the little GoPro logo at the top here is custom. The wallpaper as well, and it's actually a pretty unique design. And of course, being a PX13, it's also a 2-in-1. It flips right round, so you can use it as a tablet, or more likely, you're gonna pair it with the ASUS Pen 3 stylus and then prop it up on your desk with the hinge that lets you have it at basically any angle you like. It's a pretty mean drawing, doodling, designing machine. So 13.3-inch, 16:10, 3K HDR Lumina OLED display, 500 nits, 100% DCI-P3. It's a lovely screen, albeit also 60 Hz like the Zenbook A series, which is a little bit disappointing. So pretty portable, but this also has a good amount of power on tap. But this can be spec'd with, let me get this right, up to the Ryzen AI Max Plus 395, and that's with up to 128 gigabytes of LPDDR5X memory. We also get this little guy, the ASUS Dial Pad, which is another way of interacting with Windows and also some of the Adobe suite. There's quite a few apps now that do take advantage of it. If you want to, you don't have to use it. We've also got a dedicated GoPro key at the top here for quick access to the GoPro player. And with this collaboration, you actually get a GoPro subscription, their Premium Plus tier, free for 12 months. And you get 3 months of Adobe for free and 6 months of CapCut. Fantastic range of ports and inputs, really color accurate screen, all in a form factor that you can happily carry around all day. And if the GoPro stuff means anything to you, then that's a bonus as well. We're also getting this new ASUS ProArt PZ14, or PZ14 for my American friends, which is a newer, bigger version of last year's PZ13. So as it says on the tin, we're getting a bigger 14-inch screen, but they've also reduced the weight significantly, they've slimmed down the bezels. It's the same form factor in terms of being basically a tablet with a detachable kickstand, which has been redesigned, and also a new refined keyboard, which now has both pogo pins and Bluetooth, so you can use it wirelessly, like the new Zenbook DUO. You also get the new ASUS Pen 3 bundled, which itself is upgraded with a new haptic motor to simulate the feel and sound of drawing on paper. And you just put the pen in this little cradle and it will wirelessly charge. Now previously, the PZ13 used AMD processors, but now ASUS have switched it over to Snapdragon with the X2 Elite. So we have gone from x86 to ARM. But the highlight for me is this screen. It has to be, really. It's a tablet with this 14-inch, 16:10, 3K, 144Hz OLED. Up to 1000 nits, 100% P3. This is basically the same screen as you get on the Zenbook DUO. Well, one of them. We get 2 USB 4 ports, a full-size SD card reader, 2 cameras, including a front-facing 8-megapixel IR camera for face unlocking, and also a 30-megapixel rear 4K camera. This is like an iPad on steroids and running Windows. And it's just 9mm thick and weighs just shy of 800 grams, although that's without the keyboard. So this new ProArt PZ14 won't be for everyone, but it's a really unique proposition. Like, this isn't even all the new laptops. They're also launching new Zenbook S series, S14, S16s. I think there's probably some other ones I'm forgetting as well. And also, of course, all the ROG laptops, and I'll make a separate video on that. Hats off to them. I mean, they keep pushing the boundary with really interesting new laptops. There's a ton of different options, and it's always genuinely a pleasure to review these devices. But what do you think? If you were going to buy a new laptop this year, 2026, what have you got your eye on? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've got any questions about these guys, drop a comment as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chat.